Coming up on today's show, the first Ravens depth chart is out. We will react to it, give you 3 takeaways in just a matter of moments. Tyler Jones here with you. Joey Petersen going to join me here in just a moment. Before we get to all of that, folks, we are battling Eagles now in a sub-battle this week with the Ravens set to take on the Ravens in their first preseason matchup. And you can see Eagles already off with a bit of a head start, leading by 4 subs right now. Subscribe now and join us for our watch party coming up Friday night, youtube.com/RavensTV. Chase Sr., the host of Eagles Now, he was talking some smack about Ravens Rundown. This is what he had to say. The Ravens beat us? Yeah, that's cute. They'll fall just as flat on this challenge as they did in the AFC Championship game last year. Not only are we going to dominate them on Friday night, but I plan on dominating them all week long. Pause. Can't let that happen. Subscribe to Ravens Rundown. Let's show why we have the best fans in the National Football League, and stick it to Eagles Now, youtube.com/RavensTV to subscribe now for free today. Let's begin with this from Jonas Schaefer of the Baltimore Banner that tweeted out, here is a look at the Ravens' unofficial depth chart for Friday's preseason opener as compiled by the team's PR staff. Joey Petersen joins me right now. Joey, let's start with Patrick Mekari starting at the right tackle spot and not Roger Rosengarten.
Yeah, Tyler, it was a definite kind of surprise to me. I think what this comes down to is over 36 games started in Patrick Mekari's career to 0 for Roger Rosengarten. That's going to be the interesting thing to look like. I don't think that this thing is set in stone in any kind of sense. I think that what will determine this is how these preseason games go and how these guys play.
Well, and I think, too, that it goes to show that John Harbaugh is not just handing anybody anything. And he's going to have to go out there and earn it and take away that starting job from Patrick Mekari, which he very well might when it's all said and done. Because you look at the numbers from Mekari last year. In 580 snaps, I mean, he was okay. 69.5 overall grade, 62.6 pass block grade, run block grade is 70.1, 5 sacks allowed. Preseason, it's a competition, and Rosengarten certainly has the upper hand, it would seem. All the momentum has been his direction this offseason, but if he's not ready, if he doesn't look the part, then I don't think they would hesitate to give the job to Mekari if he looks clearly better.
I don't think they would either, and I don't think that would be a bad thing. Again, he's had 36 games as a starter in his career. He's played in over 71 games in his career. He knows this offense. He knows these players. He knows this offensive line. So it wouldn't be the worst thing to happen. You would maybe want your second-round pick to give him a really good competition, and I don't think this competition's over at all. Again, we've got about a month until this season actually kicks off. I wouldn't be surprised to see this thing kind of go back and forth 1, maybe 2 other times as these preseason games play out.
Yeah, certainly could be the case. Let's ask you guys now here on Ravens Rundown, which right tackle would you select if you were John Harbaugh and could pick a starter? You going with Roger Rosengarten? You going with Patrick Mekari? Type RR for Roger Rosengarten. Type PM for Patrick Mekari. Let us know in the comment section below. Game Time is today's sponsor. They're an authorized ticket marketplace of Major League Baseball, which makes getting tickets faster and easier. Prices on the Game Time app actually go down the closer it gets to first pitch. With killer last-minute deals, all-in prices, views from your seat, and their lowest price guarantee, Game Time takes the guesswork out of buying MLB tickets. Save up to 60% off buying last minute for sports, concerts, comedy shows, theater productions, and more. Here's how it works, folks. You download the Game Time app, and they have the prices listed. You see if you want to go to that game or not. And from there, you choose your seat. See if you like that seat. Get the visual, if you will. Then you're checking out on Game Time. Also, all major credit card providers involved. Apple Pay, Google Pay, Venmo. Fast, simple, and easy, folks. Download the Game Time app. Create an account. Use code JATSPORTS for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account. Redeem code CHAT. SPORTS for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last-minute tickets. Lowest prices guaranteed. The link is in the comments and the description of today's video. Joey, we then turn our attention to Travis Jones getting the starting nod at defensive end.
And this is something that is a positive takeaway. This is something that really, really excites me. We heard John Harbaugh speak on Travis Jones this past weekend. He had some great things to say about the defensive end. I have a big vision for Travis. He and I have talked about it, a really big vision. I have really high expectations for Travis Jones to have one of those years that's going to be memorable. I really believe that's going to happen this year. I'm looking forward to it. He's put the work in, and he continues to do work. He looks great. Tyler, do you expect Travis Jones to have one of those memorable seasons that John Harbaugh is talking about?
Well, think about this. Each year we have a different guy on this Ravens team that tends to step up, that usually isn't paid a whole lot of money, usually isn't somebody that is thought of to be a huge impact player. And maybe Travis Jones just might be this guy. We've mentioned it time and time again, the track record of guys like Jadeveon Clowney to Justin Houston, Kyle Van Noy, and others. This might be the year Ravens fans have been hoping to see from Travis Jones.
Yeah, I agree. And it's funny because a lot of times those guys are written off for different reasons. They're written off because they're in the back half of their career. They're written off because people don't think they can do it at the level they've done it before anymore. Travis Jones, this is just his third year. He has played very little football, and what he has played is pretty good. But what is so cool about this story is he's been really patient. He hasn't been trying to force anything. He's just been taking the reps, watching people play, and he learned a lot from Justin Madubuike this past year. This is what he had to say this weekend. Since I got here, Justin Madubuike has been a big role model for me. I've been looking up to him for the past 2 years, and just seeing what he did last year gives me more motivation. Tyler, talk to us a little bit about how his patience has paid off for him.
Yeah, it certainly has. When you talk about this Ravens defense, they've had so many pieces, right, over the years of what we've seen Eric DeCosta put together for a roster. And now, what was it, 20-plus free agents the Ravens had. They lost a lot of pieces this offseason, and it presented an opportunity for guys to step up. And you look at Travis Jones, this is as good a chance as ever for him to really establish himself and take on that next step. Coming off a season where he had 36 tackles, 4 tackles for loss, 1.5 sacks, 5 QB hits. Think about Justin Madubuike last year. Madubuike took a dramatic step up, and they paid him rightfully so for it. Not saying that Travis Jones is going to be like Madubuike, but the fact that he's finding inspiration, that he's in constant communication there with Madubuike, that's a good guy to kind of mold yourself after, if you will.
It really is, especially with the patience we saw Justin Madubuike in the earlier of his career have to display. What I love about Travis Jones' chances in this 2024 season is when you look at this pass rush, and yes, we've talked about how people have said it's one of our biggest weaknesses. Tyler and I obviously don't think it's one of our 2 biggest weaknesses.
No.
But when you look at these players, like a Justin Madubuike, like a Kyle Van Noy, like an Odafe Owe, who we expect big things from, he's the 4th guy that these defenses or these offensive lines have to worry about, right? They've got to worry about 3 other guys getting to the quarterback more than they do Travis Jones. And I think that's going to help them a lot this season.
I think so, too. Let's ask you guys, over, under, 5.5 sacks for Travis Jones this season. Type O for over, U for under. Let us know what you think in the comments section. Joey, I like where Travis is going, but I still need to see more before I confidently say over. I'll go with the under right now, but obviously I'm rooting for the over. What are you thinking here?
I'm thinking over. I really am. I'm
Okay.
thinking he takes a step up with the amount of snaps that he got last year to still get 1.5 sacks with 5 QB hits. I think his snap totals are going to take a massive jump, and I think his production will as well.
All right, let us know in the comment section below how you feel about that. Last on our takeaways from the depth chart, Nate Wiggins, your CB3 on the first depth chart, behind Marlon Humphrey and Brandon Stevens. We know that it's very competitive between these guys, and in a perfect world, if everything's going right, Nate Wiggins is going to earn one of those starting 2 spots, but he hasn't been handed it right now. I'm not overly concerned about this. This is like a 2 for me of Nate Wiggins not being one of those top 2 corners. We got a long ways to go before the season starts. And similar to what we talked about with Rosengarten, Joey, he's got to go out there and earn it. This is a very competitive corner room. They got a lot of depth. Iron sharpens iron here. He is going to find out real quickly if he is the right guy or not. They're going to figure that out based on how well he shapes up with his stiff competition here. And if he ultimately doesn't win the job, that means that other guys are playing well too.
It's really interesting. Usually when you're a corner taken in that first round, it's almost like you're expected to go in there and be the cornerback one right in year one. I don't think that was the plan ever for Nate Wiggins.
No.
Now, we want him to be that cornerback too. We want him to work his way up this depth chart, but he's got time. Like you're saying, like I'm saying, he's got 3 preseason games. He's still got a month left. I'm confident in his ability to go up that depth chart. I'm confident in his speed. We talked about it last week. John Harbaugh had some great things to say about Nate Wiggins. He's making great plays. It's not like he's throwing out duds every day in camp.
Right.
It just might take him a little bit longer to rise up that depth chart than we would have thought or wanted.
Well, and you see his playing size there. He entered the draft at 6'1", 182. And one thing that they've talked about with him is that, hey, if you're going to play for the Ravens, play in the National Football League, he's going to need to put on a little bit of weight, a little bit of muscle, if you will. And there's still time before the season begins, but that's still a work in progress. Getting in the weight room is another key element to this besides just what we see on the practice field.
Yeah, there's a big jump, they always say, when you go from high school to college in the nutrition levels. There's even a bigger jump when you go to college to the NFL. This is your job. This is your livelihood. He's going to grow still. He's only 22 years old. Again, youngest guy on this entire team. His body's still changing. He's probably tapped out in the height, but man, he can definitely add some weight. He will definitely add some weight. And the same thing with that right tackle battle. Ultimately, I think at the end of the day, the preseason games will determine who this cornerback 2 is next month on September 5th. When we kick off against Kansas City Chiefs.
I could not agree more. Pick a corner. Who is going to be the CB2 for the Baltimore Ravens? Is it going to be Nate Wiggins or Marlon Humphrey? You got 2 options here. Type NW for Nate Wiggins. Type MH for Marlon Humphrey. Let us know who you think should be that CB2 in the comment section below. Thanks for joining us here on this edition of Ravens Rundown. Subscribe now for free for daily Ravens coverage. YouTube.com/RavensTV. For Joey Petersen, I'm Tyler Jones. We'll see you next time.